The first rays of dawn painted the sky with hues of gold and crimson. A lone figure walked across the desolate landscape. The sand shimmered under the rising sun. This was ancient Canaan, a land of shepherds and stories. One story, etched in the book of Genesis, continues to resonate across millennia. It is the story of Jacob's dream at Bethel. This is a journey back in time. We journey to a place where God met a man. This man was running from his past. God met him in his fear. God meets us all in our fears. Please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content. Jacob was a man on the run. He had tricked his brother Esau. He had stolen his brother's blessing. Now Jacob was fleeing for his life. His heart was heavy. His future was uncertain. He carried with him the blessings of his father, Isaac. Isaac was a patriarch, a man of God. Jacob carried the weight of legacy. It was a legacy both blessed and burdened. Days turned into nights. Jacob journeyed eastward. The terrain was harsh. The sun beat down mercilessly. Exhausted, Jacob stopped for the night. The sun dipped below the horizon. A vast expanse of stars emerged. He lay down using a stone as his pillow. He was alone, yet surrounded by the vastness of creation. As sleep came, a dream unfolded. Jacob saw a ladder. It reached up to heaven. Angels ascended and descended on it. At the top stood the Lord. He spoke. He reaffirmed the covenant he had made with Abraham. He promised to bless Jacob and his descendants. This was a promise of hope. It was a promise of a future. Section 5, Divine Promise, the Covenant Renewed. Jacob listened, his heart filled with awe. He was a flawed man, yet God had chosen him. God had promised to be with him. The Lord declared, "I am the Lord, the God of your father Abraham and the God of Isaac. The land on which you lie I will give to you and to your offspring." Jacob was overwhelmed. He felt the presence of the divine. He was both humbled and elevated. Section 6, Bethel, the house of God. Jacob awoke with a start. The dream lingered. It was vivid. He knew it was more than a dream. It was an encounter with the divine. He took the stone. He set it upright as a pillar. He poured oil on it. He named that place Bethel, which means the house of God. He made a vow. He vowed to serve the Lord. He recognized the holiness of the place where God had revealed himself. Section 7, Ancient Echoes, Family and Faith in Ancient Times. To understand Jacob's journey, we must step back into his world. Ancient Israel was a patriarchal society. Family and faith were intertwined. People lived in tents. They wandered with their flocks. They relied on God's guidance. Their faith was woven into their daily lives. They believed in a God who was both personal and powerful. Section 8, Jacob's Vow, a Promise Made. At Bethel, Jacob made a promise. He said, "If God will be with me and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and clothing to wear, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then the Lord shall be my God." This was a covenant, a sacred agreement. Jacob pledged his loyalty. He pledged his obedience. In return, he sought God's protection. He sought God's provision. Section 9, Reflections on Faith, Trusting in God's Plan. Jacob's story is a reminder to us. God meets us where we are. He meets us in our fears. He meets us in our doubts. He promises to be with us. He promises to guide us. We may not always understand God's plan, but we can trust in His love. We can trust in His faithfulness. Section 10, The Dawn of Hope, a new day, a new covenant. As the sun rose over Bethel, it marked a new beginning for Jacob. He continued his journey. He carried with him the memory of the dream. He carried with him the hope of God's promise. He was a changed man. He had encountered the divine. He had been transformed by grace. Section 11, Conclusion, Eternal Significance. The story of Jacob's dream at Bethel is a timeless one. It speaks to the human need for God. It speaks to the hope we find in Him. It reminds us that even in our darkest moments, God is with us. He offers us His presence. He offers us His promises. May we, like Jacob, respond with faith and obedience. Let us seek to encounter God in our own lives. Let us build our own altars of remembrance. Let us live in the light of His love and grace. Please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content.